Last time I went car camping, I remember thinking, I'm never sleeping in my car again. Usually, I just fold down the back seats and throw a mattress on top. But honestly, folding the seats flat doesn't really mean flat. That night, I kept toasting and turning and just couldn't lie straight. So I thought, why don't I just build a bed myself? I have never done woodworking before, but somehow I felt like I could probably figure it out. I had three goals. First, it had to be comfortable. Second, it needed to feed two people. And third, I wanted to be able to restore the back seats. The bed has two parts. The first part is a platform in the trunk. That one was easy because the trunk is already flat. The second part sits on the folded back seats. But since the seats are slightly sloped, the back leg of the platform rests between the trunk and the seats, while the front legs extend to where the passenger's feet would normally go. When the two platforms connect and stay at the same height, I can finally lie flat. The first step was just measuring everything, the trunk and the space with the seat folded down. The second step was drawing a simple plan, figuring out the dimensions, where each support should go, and how tall the bed should be. A taller frame gives you more storage underneath, but less headroom when you sit up. Then come the material and the tools. When I went to buy the wood, I had this moment of confidence like the bed was already finished, but then I had to carry all the wood, and suddenly it felt very real. A lot of videos said places like Home Depot will cut the wood for you, but when I went, their saw was broken, and even when it works, they cannot cut very small pieces. So I would definitely recommend being ready to cut things yourself. We ended up going to a friend's place, and he patiently showed us how to use the tools, even though they have to leave early the next day. I really thought this project would take like one morning, but somehow it took me 20 minutes just to drill one hole. So we didn't finish that weekend. Then the next weekend, my roommate saw what I was doing, and she immediately pointed out that I have been using the drill in the wrong direction. Once I fixed that, each hole took about 15 seconds. It turns out it wasn't that task was hard. I was just putting all my effort in the wrong direction. We also made some structural improvements. My roommate had me and my husband lay down on a bed while she watched how much the wood bent. Most online tutorials skip this step, but we added extra support beams to reinforce the structure. The board is attached to the legs using hexbot, so whenever I need to, I can easily remove them, which means the back seat platform can be folded up at any time. And that's how I kept the flexibility of restoring the back seats. Between the back seat platform and the trunk platform, I added a hook and eye mechanism. It worked kind of like a simple door latch, so I can quickly separate the two sections whenever I want. When installing the hook and eye into the back leg, we first used the smallest drill bit we had to make a small pilot hole. That way it is much easier to screw it in. For the carpet, you'll usually need to buy a large piece and cut it yourself. At places like Home Depot, they will cut a big section for you, but you will need to trim it down to fit your exact dimension at home. For this section, if I cut it one way, I wouldn't get these edges, but because of my measurements, I will also have to cut the lengthwise, and cutting lengthwise with scissors is actually pretty difficult. So I used a utility knife instead, and then went back to clean up the edges. I added the carpet to protect the mattress, and the adhesive I use is basically a type of carpet tape similar to a double-sided tape. Laying down the carpet is the very last step. I make sure all the holes are drilled first before attaching it. For the hex spot, I would recommend drilling the holes in the wood first, then use a nail to poke through the carpet afterwards. Don't try to use a drill directly on the carpet because it can damage the texture and the fibers. The mattress itself is just a mattress topper that I bought years ago from Costco. It's about $120. And finally, it was done. I can finally lay flat in my car now. I used to care a lot about doing everything on my own. Like, somehow that just made it more impressive. But this bed wasn't built alone. Someone taught me how to use a saw, someone pointed out the drill direction, and someone sat with me while I make all those very dumb holes. Now I think doing something together is actually pretty great as well. I'm ready to hit the road again.